So what this is all about this afternoon, guys, is that there's lots of different outlets reporting that Spurs are about to make an offer for Brentford's Yoane Wissa. And this is the latest update. So Sammy Mockbell from the BBC says that Tottenham moving for Brentford attacker Yoane Wissa, who is understood to be open to a move. Tottenham weighing up financials attached to the deal. Sky Sports Lyle reporting, I reported earlier this summer that Brentford would listen to offers visit Vissa and Mbuemo, but difficult for them to sell both this window, so any deal for Vissa would make Mbuemo's proposed move to Manchester United increasingly difficult. Okay, and an hour before that he posted, Tottenham are maintaining an interest in Yoane Wissa. Brentford are aware of it, but there has been no direct contact between the clubs over him so far. And then also Ben Jacobs also reporting this afternoon that Spurs are weighing up a move for Brentford forward Yoane Wissa. Move driven by Thomas Frank. Vissa is keen on the move. Brentford don't want to lose Vissa and Bryan Mbeumo in the same window. This is what's being reported by the top journalists, and or some of the journalists, I don't know, but some of the journalists are reporting this at the moment, that Spurs are weighing up a move. It could have knock-on effects. I mean, there's two things I want to talk about here. Firstly, if it does have knock-on effects, that's an absolute joke. Look, we get it. Brentford aren't going to want to lose all their team in the same window. They've already lost Norgard to Arsenal. We've got Mbuemo about to join Manchester United. So, of course, they're not really looking to sell loads of players, and Vissa is a big, important player for them. If you take him and Bryan Mbeumo out of the team, that's losing 39 goals that they got between them last season. That's a heck of a lot of goals you have to find in the transfer window with time running out already. So they're, of course, not going to want to sell lots and lots of players. But I don't know why all of these sorts of journos are reporting this, to be fair, that, you know, this deal could maybe mean that the Mbuemo deal's not going to go ahead. I mean, that's bollocks. Because even if they do sell Vissa as well, it's just, you know, it's an extra cash grab. We've talked about it. Thomas Frank leaving them means that basically they're in a position where there could be a bit of an exodus of players anyway. You often see it with managers leaving clubs after a good stint. You know, they've got their players, they've brought them in there, they've got that togetherness, whatever. The manager leaves, well, sometimes a couple of players follow the manager or they go elsewhere because that era is over. And for Brentford, the era is over potentially. They're getting obviously new manager, seems a bit guff to me, but new direction they're going to be going in. I think the direction is going to be down. Personally, I think they're going to be in a relegation battle this season because they are going to lose a couple of good players this summer because their manager has left them. There is a level of uncertainty there at Brentford now about you know, what's going to happen this season. Where are they going to finish? Are they going to be mid-table again and safe, or are they going to be back to the Championship next year? So if you are a player at Brentford right now and there's an offer on the table from a bigger club, then surely you're going to seriously want to go. Not only because you can probably make more money at a team like Tottenham or Manchester United, but also because, you know, there's more likelihood that you'll be in the Premier League next season. There's actually no guarantees for Brentford, with a couple of big players going and their manager going, that they're going to be safe. So there you go. If you're the likes of Vissa and somebody knocks on the door, you've got to be honest and open and say you probably want to move to Spurs or United right now. Of course you would. Of course you would if you're Vissa. And we've talked about Vissa on this channel a lot. You know my thoughts on Vissa. I think Vissa takes the pisser out of defences, and we should get him in our team ASAP, because him and Mbuemo together would be an excellent duo together, because we know they've already done that at Brentford. So it makes a little bit of sense for United to go in for him. And the second thing I want to talk about is, why the fuck haven't United gone in for Vissa? We should go in for Vissa as well. And why haven't we tried to palm off a couple of our absolute melt bags on Brentford? Why don't we say, hey, have a cheeky Mason Mount, have a cheeky Luke Shaw, have a cheeky Jadon Sancho, you know, whoever, Alejandro Garnacho, whatever. Have one of these players. But we don't seem to have the bottle about us to be able to do this. Surely they'd be interested in a couple of our cast-offs. Surely they would. But, okay. Anyway, it might be difficult, I suppose, to sell them both. Maybe they don't want to lose them both. But Mbuemo to United is far ahead. You know, there's a lot of work that's been done on that. There's lots of there's lots of work that's happened, bids taking place, negotiations. It's surely not that far away from being done. You know, we're not even really here to talk about the Mbuemo stuff because we talked about it already today. Nothing else has happened. Nothing new's occurred. But with Vissa, there has been, which I guess has a knock-on effect potentially. But I don't think it does. I mean, yes or no, guys? Would you take Vissa at Manchester United? Have your say. I did a little poll before the stream anyway. 80% of the live chat said yes. So it's one of those where I think if we were actually sensible, we'd try and get both of these guys from Brentford. And I know we don't really want to negotiate with these guys because it's been an absolute shit show trying to get this Brentford deal with Mbuemo done. However, if we could get a double deal done, maybe sweeten the deal in some way with somebody going the opposite direction, it's actually going to give us a lot of goals next season. These two are proven to play together well in the Premier League. Now, he might want to go to Thomas Frank at Spurs. That's also another factor. They do have European football next season. They do have Champions League football next season. So if they did come knocking, it could just be a case of wanting to go to Spurs ahead of United right now because of Thomas Frank and the Champions League. I mean, I doubt it. And Mbuemo's not wanting to do that. And Mbuemo wants Man United and only Man United. So I don't know why Vissa would be any different, especially as United can probably pay him the most. The reality is we don't seem to have the money to go in for these pissing deals right now. Of course, we should be trying to sign the likes of Vissa or Watkins or someone like that with some Premier League proven bottle. We'll probably end up with Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Luke Shaw playing in the bloody first team. It wouldn't surprise me. So this is it, really. If we had any bottle about us, we'd go for players like this as well as Mbuemo. Vissa and Mbuemo. But look, Lyle reported earlier, Wissa and Mbuemo, difficult to sell them both this window. So any deal for Vissa would make Mbuemo's proposed move to Man United increasingly difficult. That's what he says. Also, Ben Jacobs reporting a similar thing. Spurs are weighing up a move for Brentford forward Yoane Wissa, move driven by Thomas Frank. Vissa's keen on a move. Brentford don't want to lose Vissa and Bryan Mbeumo in the same window. Right, okay, well, you know, you're just going to have to deal with it, Brentford. You are really going to have to deal with it. You're going to lose them. If somebody comes knocking for Vissa, this is the reality, guys. Vissa has 1 year left on his contract. They might have an option to exercise an extra year, maximum 2 years, but let's face it, I think he's just got a year left on his contract. He's 28. He scored 19 goals last season, got 4 assists, I think. That's a good contribution. He's had a good rise over the last couple of years, but really this was his breakout season properly. But he's experienced, Premier League proven player, and he definitely did really well this season along with Bryan Mbeumo. So he's unlikely to want to stay because if Spurs goes in for him, they're a bigger, better club who can pay him more money. He's got a contract there with a year left at Brentford that won't be as much money as what Spurs are offering. So for a start, from a financial point of view, it makes perfect sense for him to go there. Secondly, they've got Champions League football. Thirdly, Thomas Frank is there, obviously, and that's going to really entice him, just like you would think it would entice most players when you see managers that you've worked with in the past sign for a big club. If they go to a big club and they come knocking for you, you'd be much more interested in going because you've already got that relationship and working relationship, etc. with that manager. You know him. So they could instantly hit it off. And Thomas Frank's understood to want him and be interested in him, and it makes sense because he could be available probably around 40 million. I don't think Brentford could ask for much more than 40 mil, guys. Honestly, because of the year left on the contract. Picture this. Somebody bids 40 million. They say, no thanks, we want 60 million. Everyone says, we don't want to pay 60 million. They say, fine, don't have him then. Okay, in a year's time, he walks for free. Okay, Brentford also have their situation changed where they've got a player who knows he can leave, who knows there's teams interested in him, bigger, better teams who are paying more, and they're not letting him leave. He's going to be unhappy, he'll down tools maybe he won't, maybe he'll crack on, but he's not going to be 100% happy at the football club, is he? And then he just leaves in a year on a free. So, you know, they don't want that scenario, and Man United or Spurs or whoever would go in for him would absolutely have a great chance of signing him for not that much money because of that factor. Like, if we do come knocking and he wants to go, he could put in a transfer request, kick up a stink, whatever. It's one of those where we're a bigger, better club than Brentford. So are Tottenham, to be fair to them. We're a bigger, better club than Tottenham. But unfortunately, they've got their old manager and Champions League to offer right now. So that sort of adds a little bit of extra spice as to why you might choose a team like Tottenham. And we've heard that, you know, Vissa's keen on the move to go to Brentford and, to go to Spurs. And why wouldn't he be? Because Brentford's probably going to be in a relegation battle this season with Thomas Frank going and a few players going. So, you know, all I know is we should go in for Vissa. That's exactly who we should be going for. They're going to lose him anyway. Yeah, there's all these reporters saying, oh, it's going to be difficult for us to sell them both this summer and all that sort of malarkey for Brentford, and that the proposed deal for Vissa could scupper the deal for Mbuemo. That's bullshit, in my opinion. I don't think the two are associated there, really. It's like they're going to lose them both anyway if somebody comes knocking. Unless he does a Nico Williams and signs a new long-term deal and they actually invest and pay him big money and sign him up to a new contract, Vissa is available this summer. And Tottenham could be the team that goes and gets him and gets a bargain. 40 million quid. I mean, I'll ask the live chat guys. Maybe I'm out of line, but how much do you think it would take, realistically, or how much do you think people would be prepared to pay for Vissa this summer right now? Bearing in mind, they could probably pick him up in a year's time for nothing. So how much do you think we'd be prepared to pay for him? And what's the limit? I mean, I think 45 million tops. 45 million tops for this guy because of the amount of time left on his deal. And as I say, if a big club comes knocking, it's hard for Brentford to really keep him. If he wants to go, he wants to go. What can they do? They'll pay more than they're capable of doing. And even if they did bust out a big contract, he still might want to go. I know we're not getting Vissa, Nas. I know we're not getting Vissa, lad. I'm just talking because I bloody want Vissa, lad, but I know we're not getting frickin' Vissa, lad. We've got more likeliness of signing the frickin' Pope to play up top for us or something like that, lad. We've got more likeliness of having Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as our new fucking goalkeeper coach. This, of course I know we're not... What? We should be, though. This is what I'm saying. We're in a fucking shit show of a situation, lad. The Glazer shithouses have ruined us, and now we can't even buy bloody Vissa from Brentford. Fuck's that all about? We should be going for him, though. Everybody's creaming about Ollie Watkins and stuff. I like Ollie Watkins, too. I really do. He's proven, he's got a good record. He's scored goals. He's presser and all that. But Vissa works with Mbuemo. We've seen that. Get him in. That's what I'm saying. I really passionately believe that we should go for Vissa. He's the one. There's also talks of Gyokeres and Osimhen and Watkins and all this. This is the one for me. It makes the most sense. He's the cheapest, potentially, because of the contract there. He's got that relationship with Mbuemo, who we're also signing, apparently. So get those guys in there, and next thing you know, boom, you've got 39 goals added to your bloody first team. I don't see how it can really go too wrong. We've seen it last season, how good they were. Okay. Let's see what you guys were saying. 45 million, 50 million. Yeah, can probably pay 40 million. I like your style there, Paul Warby. Come on, do it now. Absolutely, yeah. You think they will wait till he leaves on a free? Just maybe, but I don't think that's good for Brentford. Surely Brentford, if they've got any wits about them, will want to try and cash in this summer and use that money to sign somebody else good while they're still a mid-table Premier League side, while they can still attract decent players and pay decent players. And maybe they could sign somebody else for a long-term 4-year contract, 5-year contract, get some stability, rather than having this guy play for them for a season who doesn't want to be there and then lose him on a free. So I'd think that Brentford would surely be open to a move if an offer came in that was acceptable, a reasonable offer. 50 million, says Martin. I mean, that would be more than enough. Surely they'd be fools to turn down 50 million if he can walk in a year's time. So, honestly, I think it's on the cards for some team to sign Vissa this summer. These reports all suggest that Tottenham is the team that's most likely at least to move first for this player. Tottenham moving for Brentford attacker Yoane Wissa. This is via the BBC, and Sammy Mockbell, who says Tottenham moving for Brentford attacker Yoane Wissa, who is understood to be open to a move. Tottenham are weighing up financials attached to the deal. Yeah, well, financials, I think, are much more favourable than a lot of players they've looked at. They've been turned off by a couple of players this summer already. The Semedo situation, obviously wanting too much money there. Bournemouth, they signed him up to a new deal anyway, but they were seeking a lot of money for him. They weren't prepared to pay it. They're in negotiation with Kudu and stuff right now, aren't they? But they're asking for a lot of money. It's not looking great there. I mean, I think Brentford, with that relationship they have with Thomas Frank, and also the fact that we've just talked about all of those reasons why Vissa probably wants to go and why it's difficult for Brentford to keep them, I think that all adds up to Tottenham putting in a bid for him. And because of the relationship Thomas Frank has with Brentford as well, I think it'll be a decent bid. And, they'll probably be able to get him for 40 or 45 million quid. That's my thoughts. But we, as a club, Manchester United, should probably go and have a go ourselves, because I think he is a great addition, especially with Mbuemo and the combination of those two players already being proven. Right, let's just get into the live chat for a few minutes. We have got some other news to discuss as well. Just a couple of little things, other things popped up, but nothing major. But we'll get into the live chat for a minute. Do us a favour if you're just joining the stream. Smash that like on it, hit the thumbs up, give us a like spike, help us get to 100 likes. Also, share us around on social media and get yourself subscribed to the channel and involved in the chat, you legends. Right, let's have a look at the live chat here, see what's happening. The deal's still on, says Paul Heaney. We'll lose our minds if Spurs get the deal before us. I know. How the hell is Spurs been a better option? Well, it never has been, but maybe you could argue this season for a player who was at Brentford, who is at Brentford, and a manager who was at Brentford. Maybe right now it is for a player like Vissa, and they do have European football, which we don't. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, hopefully not for 50 million FC Groningen lad. Mbuemo likely to be off. Be prepared for that. Still 50-50 for Mbuemo to join. I think that's quite negative. I think it's more like 95-5. There's some ways I suppose this deal could fall down, but I think United are going to be forced into paying the money, because if not, we're going to have to go elsewhere, and we don't have time to do that. We've got to get this player for Amorim. It's 95% done in terms of the negotiations. They just haven't reached agreements in structure and obviously the overall figure. But the player's keen, player wants to go, wages are all sorted, etc. I don't think that is the case. I think we will, I think we'll get him, but it just might take a little bit longer. So we give them 100 million for both. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Nat. I like your style. Maybe a little bit more than that they might seek. But what have we said about other players potentially going out? I mean, they don't want to lose all their players. Hey, Brentford, how do you like the idea of this Danish piece, Rasmus Højlund, Danish international, built like a brick shithouse? Yeah? Marketable in Scandinavia. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying, Brentford? Let's be having you. You know what I'm saying, Brentford? Rasmus Gashmus Højlund, eh? What's that? You want a cheeky little swap deal for you? Straight swap for Vissa, is it? Oh, lovely. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Because Rasmus Højlund's only 22, 23. He's got a big future ahead. Oh, yeah. He'd be a good player for you guys for many years. Vissa's only got a year left of his contract. He's going to go for free. Oh, suit you, sir. Suit you, sir. Get it done. Do you know what I mean? Get it done. Come on, surely we can offer some of our cash players to them, is what I'm saying. Mason Mount, what's that? You want Mason Mount on a couple of year contract, and we'll pay us 25% of his contract, so you can just chill and pay 75% of his contract. But you can have Mason Mount, England international and stuff. Go on then, Brentford. You know, who's in charge of our recruitment and incomings and outgoings at Manchester United? That's what I want to know, and player sales and stuff. Goodness me. Please, I need to apply for the job, guys, because I would make some phone calls and get some interest in some of our players. Why wouldn't you be trying to do this? Why wouldn't you sit down with Amorim and say, right, who the fuck would you like to be forced out of the team this summer so we can get them gone? And then, you know, just make all the calls, speak to all the teams, speak to all the agents, get some interest. You know, obviously it's not quite as simple as that, but I'm just saying, like, there's surely somebody can have a word with Brentford and convince them a couple of Manchester United players would make sense for their team. I don't know why we haven't tried to do that. There's at least a couple that actually would make sense. Andre Onana was previously playing in the Champions League final for Inter. Goodness me, he's a marketable individual. He's a Cameroonian legend. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a great addition. Gashmus Højlund would be great. Mason Mount, goodness me. Luke Shaw's still got a lot of miles left on the clock. Oh, yes, those injuries and the worst days are definitely behind him. You know what I mean? Oh, yes, he's been revitalised by Frey Bentos pies. It's like Popeye with his spinach, but with pies. He is revitalised. He's ready to rock and roll for a mid-table Premier League team. On the regular. Okay, obviously I'm having a laugh here, but seriously, we are crap at getting players gone. Get Timo Schafter on it. We do need Timo Schafter on this. We do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Come on. Surely Rasmus Højlund knows that if Man United do sign a new striker, then his opportunities at the club are going to be few and far between. Does he want that? Would he not want to move? If I was him, I'd like a loan move. Wouldn't that be nice? 100 million. There you go. 100 million for Vissa and Mbuemo. So that's value in Mbuemo at 65. It's value in Vissa at 35. That makes 100. And we'll give you Rasmus Højlund on loan for free for a season. So give you time to find new players. I mean, come on. Give me the job, Manchester United. Give me the freaking job. I know what I'm doing. Give me the job, you know. How hard is it? How hard is it, guys? It can't be that hard. There you go. They're going to lose Mbuemo anyway. You're going to have to spend and buy new players anyway. Yes, you're losing another forward. You don't want to lose another forward. Well, we'll give you another forward with a loan on a loan with an option to buy. No dramas. No dramas if you don't want to take him on, but he'll give you cover and goals for this season. Yeah, you can have him this season. That's what we need to do. Get Timo Schafter on the case to get some of these moves done. 100%. Surely Amorim has told the club who needs to go by now. It's mid-July, for fuck's sake. That's what I'm saying, yeah, and we still can't get these melts out the door. Throwing Rasmus into the deal would double the asking price. Maybe it would. Maybe it would. No, seriously, though, I would expect Brentford would be interested in a player like Rasmus for the right price, and especially if the price was nothing. You know what I mean? For a loan, I think they would be interested, seeing as they'll be losing a couple of players. Honestly, I really do. He's shown some potential stuff. He had a god-awful season last season for us, but the team was shy and the system was right. He was in a right system with a decent team. He could probably do all right and score a bunch of goals. Not prolific by any means, but I think he could have a much better season. Even if we sign a striker, we still need another one in case of injuries. Spot on, lad. Pick up Jamie V for free. Excellent deal. I think you've got a career in used car sales. You'd be told by Brentford to fuck off. Nero says, I spent all money in F1 Mercedes AMG team and have no money to spend in United transfer window. Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? Thank you, Stephen Maguire. Vote for Pig for the job. If we offered Brentford players, they would automatically increase their demands. No, I genuinely do think that might be the case. Højlund won't want to go to Brentford. Well, what's his alternative? He's frozen out at the football club. He's training on his own. Does he want to do that? I don't think we've got a place for him. He's either going to go on loan to, somewhere in Italy or, that's a great move for him. What's wrong with that? Let's face it, his stock is in the toilet. Brentford be an excellent move for him right now, and we all know it. That'd be a good move. They're a good Premier League mid-table side these days. That's a good move for Rasmus Højlund. It really is, especially at his age, get that Premier League experience under his belt. No pressure compared to Man United. Goodness me, the pressure is not even there. They're expected to be in a relegation battle. It's a great pressure-free environment to play your football right now, honestly. And it's not like he'll be getting paid any less, because if he's going on loan, I'm sure, as I've said, if it's to sweeten a deal to get Vissa and Mbuemo, I'm sure we'd be prepared to scratch their back in regards to wages and probably cover a lot of the wages. For a season, it's almost helping us out, end of the day. It would actually be helping us out, I think. 2030 is when his contract runs out. If he went away to Brentford and played a lot, it would be good for him and it'd be good for us. And then he comes back in a year's time. If they don't buy him, either way, it's good for us. They either give us some money for him, or we've got a player who has improved and had game time and experience and stuff in the Premier League. I think it's actually a really, really shrewd idea. Let's do it. Getting rid of our Deadwood's like trying to kill a mosquito in the dark. Impossible. It is horrible, yes. We are a terrible club when it comes to paying wages. That's what's happened. Wouldn't surprise me if United made no more signings. Well, after Mbuemo, it wouldn't surprise me. I've got to be honest, Edvardio. Not until we've at least sold players. We should put in cheeky bids and put the prices up for other clubs like Spurs and Newcastle. Minies is 100 million plus Sancho plus Shaw plus Onana. And whatever hair products are left for Eric Ten Hag. Oh, hair products. Goodness me. Some extra shiny sheen. That's about the only hair product he had, isn't it? Bless up, Edvardio. Let's go. Less pressure for a season could build your confidence back up in another year in the Prem. Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. Honestly, I really do think it's a good idea. Getting a player with 1 or 2 years on contract left, great business. Going to shock a few teams. Yep. Sporting, FC, Ignacio. Yeah, that's a good shout as well, and the Amorim link, maybe. It's interesting. And Mbuemo deal over line. I do think it will happen. Give it a few days. I do think it will happen, yes. Just want to hear some positive news on outgoings. I know. Sancho to Juventus looks like, I guess it could be the most likely to happen at this stage. But other than that, it's not much going on, is there? The year is 2030 and we're still negotiating over Mbuemo. Right, I'll just talk about this very quickly. If you're just getting in the stream, remember to hit the thumbs up button. Help us get to 100 likes. Hit the subscribe if you're new. We're on here daily with the United news, break-in and otherwise. So come and join us. We'll be back on here tonight at 10 p.m. as well. So subscribe and click the bell icon. Okay, so the Fulham game's been rescheduled as well now. So next month's trip to Craven Cottage has been rescheduled for Sunday, the 24th of August, with kick-off at 4:30. So just a little game change. Also, I was going to talk about this because there were a couple of players linked from their team to Manchester United, but probably won't be now, which is this. Fabrizio Romano confirming earlier on and everywhere else confirming that official. Olympique Lyon will not be relegated to League 2 and the club will stay in League 1. The decision has been confirmed, so they won their appeal then, guys. So Lyon staying in League 1 there. Obviously, brilliant news for them. They'll be absolutely buzzing. All their players will be absolutely buzzing. And they'll be able to keep the majority of their first team happy in there now, I suppose. I don't know the full details of it, whether there's any sorts of other punishments, fines, points deductions, I don't know. But this report just does say that they're not getting relegated to League Two. So that's massive news there for Lyon and Lyon's team. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, so we did cover other transfer news earlier on. I'm not going to do that now because this is just an extra little video. We were on for our lunchtime live earlier. If you missed the transfer news of the day, then check that one out, and we'll be back on again tonight at 10. I'm going to get into the chat now, and we're just going to have a bit of a chat. But as I say, if you missed the start of the stream, this is the news that's broken this afternoon. Lots of different outlets suggesting that Tottenham moving for Brentford attacker Yoane Wissa, who is understood to be open to a move. Tottenham weighing up financials attached to the deal. That's from BBC Sport, Sammy Mockbell. Also, Lyle Thomas, Sky Sports reports. I reported earlier this summer that Brentford would listen to offers for Vissa and Mbuemo, but difficult for them both to sell them both this window. So any deal for Vissa would make Mbuemo's proposed move to Man United increasingly difficult. Right, and then also Ben Jacobs also says that Brentford don't want to lose Vissa and Mbuemo in the same window. Spurs are weighing up a move for Brentford forward Vissa, move driven by Thomas Frank. Vissa's keen on a move. So I absolutely do think that Vissa's keen on a move to Spurs because of Thomas Frank, and Spurs are a way bigger club than Brentford, and they've got Europe as well. So I'm absolutely sure of that. I'd also be sure that if Man United went in for Vissa, he'd also be interested in joining us. He still might prefer Spurs right now because of Thomas Frank, but it might be worth us trying to have a go and getting him, but I don't think we are because we're incapable and we're useless, but we should. But all these reports of them not wanting to sell Vissa and Mbuemo, and it'll be difficult, and it could jeopardise the Mbuemo deal. I think it's all rubbish, to be fair. Mbuemo deal's getting there. They don't want to turn down 65 million quid or 70 million quid. Probably not 70, 65 million quid up front. They don't want to turn that down for Mbuemo and lose that deal, I'm sure, especially with a player who wants to go. Because, of course, he wants to go. He doesn't want to stay at Brentford. His frustrations are growing. He's keen to get settled in at his new club. So he won't want to be a Brentford player much longer. So surely they've got to get a deal done there. We should be going in for Vissa as well, but he's likely, I guess, to go to Tottenham if they bid because of the Thomas Frank connection. So that's the big story of the day anyway, or the afternoon here that we have been discussing, the reason we jumped on. Let's get stuck into the live chat. Before I do, I'm going to shout out the legends that have reposted this stream on X. The link's at the top of the live chat. Give us a share, give us a follow on X, and get yourself involved, you legends. Okay, I'm just going to shout you guys out very quickly. So big ups to the 6 legends who have reposted us. Thank you so much. Ashley Vote, Brummy Reds, Aaron, Sanjay Ramatar, Vincent Bullock, and Paul Nangle. Thank you very much indeed, you absolute heroes. Legends among us. Right, let's read a bunch of comments out, guys. See what you guys are saying about this Vissa situation. Hello there, Luke CX. What's happening, you legend? And Vincent Bullock as well. Yeah, good. Yeah, it would help us out, wouldn't it? We need a bit of a longer transfer window now because we've been so piss poor with getting these players in. With Mbuemo and Cunha would deliver crosses in the box, would be good for Rasmus to score goals. Should be better for him, but I don't even want him to be here, really, Shekor. I've seen sort of enough from him, really. I don't think you can't polish a turd, can you? Too much. You might be able to make it a little bit more appealing, I suppose, but you can't really polish a turd, mate. What's up happening at Apples and Oranges? Luke Shaw getting ready for England because he'll play 3 games for United, then miss 20. Absolutely. He'll be injured for the remainder of this summer transfer window until it opens again or closes again on the 1st of September. Then he'll be miraculously fit, ready for the internationals. And then, obviously, yeah, for the next year's World Cup, he'll probably be fit. How is it that in France, governance works in a matter of days and the governance of the UK in relation to 115 plus in a matter of years and decades? I really don't know. I personally think that Man City have just tied everything up in red tape with their O.J. Simpson lawyers and stuff, you know what I mean? What's happening with Anthony? He still wants to go to Betis. They just can't scratch the money together, but that is still on the cards. Watch United getting Mbuemo and his work permit expire. Oh, my God. You're also getting some cash from Carreras move to Real Madrid. Yeah, that's right. So 5 million quid, I think we're getting from that. 8 million quid we're getting from a Langer deal. We've made more money from other teams selling our ex-players than we have selling our own players. Are the Glazers still soulless evil vampires? Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Are we any better off with this new regime? Same old summer of frustration with players. Better off? Nah, I mean, you know, it's not really our manager's fault or anything. The Ineos and Glazers, they don't seem any different. You know, Ineos supposed to be covering football and proceedings and in charge of all the aspects of the run of the football club, but it doesn't seem like it to me. If they are, they're incompetent. We need player incomings, we need player outgoings, neither of which has happened to the degree that we need. So they're fools. They're not prepared to invest, it seems. They're not prepared to spend. They're taking a good old time about it. And I don't like it because the most ambitious thing to be would be to just go, fuck it, spend send an extra 5 million to Brentford. Let's get the deal signed. And then you've got the player in there ready for pre-season, settled in, bought a house. He's got his kids a new school, whatever the hell everybody else needs to do. It takes a lot to move and up roots and go to a different football club that's up north from where he lives in the moment in London. It's not like he's going to be commuting, is it? So he very unlikely anyway. So you think he'd be, it takes time. It takes time to settle in. That's important. And then not only that, working with your teammates and the manager and getting used to the system. Nice, we smashed 100 likes. Ooh, thank you everyone for hitting the like button there. How many players have Man United been linked to this window? Yeah, goodness me. Could have bought a brand new team of those. Goodness me, probably about 10 brand new teams. We've probably been linked to about 50 players already. That's only 4.5 new teams. Rashford and Sancho directly linked with and in constant touch with the Glazers. That's why they were showing the player power they have. Oh, come on. If you and Brentford are only a few million apart, at some point Mbuemo's going to think you don't really value him that much. Well, there you go, Aiden. But also he will be frustrated with Brentford for bending United over a little bit here. They are kind of pricing the move out. I mean, I think it's a fair offer from United, the last offer, which was 55 up front and 7.5 down the line. I think at least that was the offer. Maybe there were structural issues with that. Maybe it wasn't all of the 55 up front. Maybe it was... Who knows? That's it. There's something they're not happy about. So, okay, fair enough. United need to agree. You are right. It is they're arguing over pennies, really. In the grand scheme of things, it's pennies. Not for us, not for normal situations, but it's a few million quid maybe just to get the deal done. And in footballing terms, that's really not a lot. People don't repost on X who wouldn't want to get a shout out their name. It's better than sometimes putting a comment on here. Thank you, Vincent Bullock. Yes, you know it, lad. You're on it, lad. You're on it. Mark Harris says United moving like a snail in concrete, signing players. Get your popcorn ready for Arsenal. Big up, boss. Love the show. Thanks, Mark Harris, lad. Yeah, unfortunately, Arsenal are moving, aren't they, really well? And Liverpool, and Chelsea, and City, all signing great players. Not us, though. It's shambles. Get a striker on loan in the first division. Interesting take. Vissa goes to Spurs. Brentford will pull deal from Mbuemo or add 20 million. Red Devil Dog. Oh, well, they might add a little bit on for us. They might do Thomas Frank and mates rates deal. That's fair. But no, we should try and get him. We don't. Yeah, I mean, end of the day, if they ask for any more money from Mbuemo because they don't want to lose two players, they can kiss it. We've been working on this Mbuemo deal first, way before Spurs were working on Vissa, so they can kiss it. But secondly, I actually think we should try and pinch Vissa as well. Henderson looking for a new club. I can see him back at Sunderland. Yeah, I think that would be a good move for him as well. I mean, end of the day, that's where he's from. He he would be loved there. If Juventus terminate Dusan Vlahovic contract, we should take him. Well, if it's terminated and we can do terms and a deal based on just him having zero contract, I think we probably could pick him up. But I think isn't he on a couple hundred, £250,000 a week? I don't think it's worth us getting him right now unless we can get him for literally nothing and he was prepared to take a bit less. Rumours about Mbuemo now considering staying and rejecting United. I don't think so, history buff lad. Don't believe everything you read, mate. I mean, I know you just said rumours. A rumour's exactly what it is. It's a rumour. It's bullshit, isn't it? I mean, he must be getting frustrated that the move isn't happening, yes. But I don't think he's gone, Brentford and Man United can't reach an agreement. That's it. I'm staying. I don't think he wants that. He's waiting on a massive money move. Big just look for players in the Championship. I mean, we could definitely get some, but, we want top-tier experience. That's important as well. Some players might be able to adapt and be fine, but also others may take time and also others may not have the ceiling. Obviously you can get some great players from the Championship that step up. I mean, you can get great players from the non-league. Look at Jamie Vardy, for Pete's sake, playing for Fleetwood Town, weren't he, before? You can pluck out gems from here and there, but obviously the most proven players would be the ones with the Premier League experience already. Clubs bankrolled by chemical sales, so no precise, it's toxic. Fair play to you, Super Fat Frank. I think it's a disgrace as well, lad. Falling out in love with United, I zoned out after we were pathetic this winter and onwards. There's something behind you, Mr. Pig, be careful. How much is Vissa worth? I think 40 million in this current climate with what he's earning because, and what sort of he's on in terms of contract and everything. I think personally about 40 million because he's got a year left, lad. Kuna, good signing, and Mbuemo. I thought that said Mewtwo for a second. We're getting very Pokemon-y in here. Mbuemo, but Højlund and Nana still in the team. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. We do have to get rid of them. Hopefully we see a bit of movement there, but it's not happening at the minute. The longer the deal takes, the more Brentford can ask. Our negotiating position only gets worse as we need to sell before we can buy. You're not wrong, FC Groningen, lad. We just, in my opinion, we just should pay the extra few mil up front and get it done. I don't know, Billy. The thing is, the thing is, because of the legend Kurt Gunter and everybody else being so generous last month, there's so many members on here, obviously most of them gifted members, but the highlighted member comments would just, I'm trying to speak and do a news show, mate. The highlighted member comments would just ping through. We'll definitely turn them on at some point, though, like for some random watch-alongs and stuff like that, but for these shows, I can't really turn them on because there's just so many of them at the moment because of Kurt Gunter that it would be fast abused. Not abused, obviously. I love the member comments, but it would be not abused, but it would be spammed. There would be spamming going on, lad. Everybody would have a comment, basically. Or a lot of people would, anyway, because of, I don't know, mate. We'll see. You must be annoyed having the chance to have a bit more money in your pocket and people are holding you back. Yeah, that's true, Vincent. That's it. It's literally costing them money right now. When they're on it, United beat the big teams. There's a good squad. They just need some vocal leaders. Definitely need a few characters in there. You should sign for United. You'll be better than Onana. Go for it. I think I would be. Kuno and Mbuemo's a great start, just very slow. And Mbuemo's already in the US waiting for United. Come on, Resh. Pig, at this rate, you might be brought by United to replace Onana in goal or Højlund. Oh, brilliant. Glazers rejects the bid from Qatar. There you go. Anyway, I'll read a couple more comments out, but we're pretty much going to wrap up this stream. I just wanted to jump on and cover the Vissa news. I don't want to flog a dead horse. We've already gone over the Mbuemo stuff today. That's just a little bit more news since the last lunchtime news we did. Just a little extra stream. But we will be back on later on tonight around 10 p.m. to discuss all the latest breaking Manchester United news or any big news that's happened in the evening. Plus, if there is anything really big like an Mbuemo here we go or whatever, or a bid going in for Vissa or something crazy like that, we'll jump straight on and, of course, do a stream. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you don't miss the notifications. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. Check out the Discord, !Discord, guys. I post my streams in there as well as a Discord, !Discord. Join that, and also you'll see more stuff. Nice one. Yes, it's very hot in here, mate. What's the temperature now? It's, that's another reason I'm going. It's 28.9 degrees and climbing in this room right now, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you. Nice one, Stephen. I appreciate you. Thank you, Russell Bland. If Trafford signs for Newcastle, would it be worth United trying to nick? Yeah, I think it would, Russell, actually. Certainly better than what we got currently. Nice one, Aaron, lad. Thanks for putting the link to my gaming channel. Yes, follow the gaming channel right there. Also follow the Discord. I don't know if that link works, but hopefully it does. Join the Discord. That's popped up in the chat there as well. Legends. Okay, well, we'll wrap this stream up. But anyway, you can always come back after this stream's finished and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed on this stream in regards to Vissa and Mbuemo, etc. Get your opinions in after. And thanks for watching, guys, and interacting with me as always. We'll definitely be back on later to cover the evening news. Legends. Is it really Gregory? No idea, mate. No, you've typed it. Nice one, History Buff. Nice one, moderators like Aaron and co. All the members in green like Gregory Burke, etc. Thank you so much for tuning in. Nice one, Nick. All the mods, all the members, everybody in the chat, all the legends. Come back after, have your say, and I'll see you later. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.